ecological infrastructure economies in rural areas as part of water security. We're mobilizing on the Cape water crisis, that without water we can't build wealth in the country, so the banks need to actually get involved.
Very nice movie, Nikki. Sorry. Would you like to discuss some of that, or is there somebody want to make a comment on it? Any comments? Yeah?
Where is that being used? In the corporate sector. Quite interesting because the RMB Renovation Bank paid for it, and they're trying to influence the other banks to invest. So WWF's using it as part of their water investments in strategic water source areas. And we've used it a little bit, and it's available for UCT partners to use. It's really just a little drop in their awareness.
Is it possible to get this movie? If we want to show it to students, for example, I'm thinking of students in England or elsewhere, and we could talk about these issues, and then, because it's nice to see the pictures, it's nice to see the people, so as an education and sharing the message also.
Yeah. It's available resource.
Great. Yes?
Thinking bigger beyond just people who
style, of course.
Yes. I'm thinking there's something on TV called These Are South African success stories. You know about that they show stories like this. I don't know which channel is it. Maybe you consider it's ETV.
Yes, ETV.
Yeah. This can be one of the stories. I don't know who to approach there, but
you tell the R&D WWF this.
This is a good story. It's not just below that.
So the movie stars will sign autographs.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. This was a great kind of getting closer to the finish of today. Would you mind to open those blinds again, the curtains, and maybe switch on the light in the back?
You want to turn the projector?
Yeah, we achieved a lot in our groups. We hope you feel that we have addressed the issues that we started discussing yesterday. Today we went in more depth. Tomorrow the community members will be here again, and they will continue discussing some of these issues in a smaller group, which is great. It's really, I think we are grateful to have that opportunity, to have the time and the space to do this. So tomorrow it will be a smaller group, only the community members, and we could continue to discuss some of the issues. And then we can hear again some of the opinions of the community members and the perceptions. So that's for tomorrow. And for today, for the closing of this workshop, we would like to do one last round. We can call it a flashlight, a brief, like how do I feel at the moment? So you can express how you feel right now, what you take away from this workshop. So anything you want to express, let's say in a one sentence or two sentence statement. Can be anything that you would like to say or something you want to share with the group still. So we go in a round and we have to decide, do we start this side? Do we start that side? Do we start there? This at the end. So you can think about your one sentence statement now. And before you leave this hall, what I did, you remember on the first day, and those who came today, 3 people, we asked for your expectations. So Linda and I, we tried to summarize and group the expectations. Some were overlapping. So I put the key things that you said here. And then here, we want to know, have these been met? Have your expectations been met? And you can say fully met, partly met, or not met. So you can make just a cross here. This is anonymous. Yeah, nobody needs to reveal their identity for this. So before you leave, please come here and make your crosses. You can also make them in between if you're unsure whether it's fully or partly or not met. And you will find the themes, so maybe you find other themes that you didn't mention, but that you feel, yeah, this also addresses what my expectations were. So this would be nice if you do this, then you have some reflection of the whole group, whether this workshop met your expectations. Should I read the things, or can you? Maybe let me quickly summarize it. So the first is share information and knowledge. This was mentioned by many of you. learn about rangeland management. And I think we talked a lot about this. So this includes restoration, it includes ecosystem services, resting areas. So it's this whole umbrella of rangeland management. Learn about use and management of wattle was one issue. Discuss and learn from old traditional practices. This came also up in various discussion. Discuss and share information how to improve livelihoods. Share knowledge on watershed management. So this relates to watershed management, anything related to water. Discuss how interventions impact on the ground. Raising awareness on rangeland management, how to do it. So raising awareness, communicating, raising awareness among communities or other people. Were the workshop goals addressed? And the workshop goals have moved down here, we will put them up here again. So the 3 goals that James introduced on the first day and which you can find here. And then finally, building relationships and networks. Some of you mentioned this, others might not have mentioned it. But so you can actually make across everywhere. So where you feel I want to just give my opinion here, give some weight, you please feel free to do this here, okay? So this is after when we finish. So maybe I put it here. And there will be markers and you can make your cross. Okay, now we come to the final round. Have you decided who wants to start?
You better nominate.
Can we start here? And then we go, we take this whole round and then we finish here. Okay? So, make brief statements.
Good afternoon. I would like to share what I learned from day 1 to today. What I learned is that it's based on what we must not get rid of all the wattle. More especially, we must leave the bigger one so that the small one not grow again. And number 2, I learned that we must work together so that we can go through the success with governance and the community, as we come from the community associations.
Hey, thank you. Thanks very much.
Afternoon. What I have learned through this workshop is that it's not only the government that's supposed or government's responsibility to improve the rent. It's for all of us. We need to intervene how to improve the rent. Is what I learned.
Thank you.
So today, what I learned is that the water is very useful to us, not us as the community, but to the whole world, because it produces what mostly we need. Yes.
Morning to everyone. Sorry for that. First of all, I really appreciate you for being the part of this workshop. I learned more on this workshop about how to develop our community by using our natural resources. And so there's nothing that or much, but the main thing that I have from now is that I can make a change in my community by using our land. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think What I've also learned is kind of aligned with what everyone has just mentioned, that we need to have integrated planning and to take ownership of our own interventions, or the interventions that are brought into our communities, to start taking ownership of that so that they can be a success, and also acknowledge that natural resources that where people live and are dependent upon them do not only affect where they are, but they also affect other people, whether it's downstream or the next community. But we must be considerate of the use of natural resources.
Thank you.
In Leonard, we have discovered that information sharing is very important. You can think that people know what you know, but definitely they don't know what you know. By sharing information, you just open up mind for other people, and that makes people to know more things. And that what you can do more, what you cannot just clear it up, all of it. You can also make charcoal with it and create jobs.
Afternoon. What I appreciated is meeting new faces, making friends and be friendly to us. I appreciated that the community to develop, everybody should be involved. So we are happy to meet you, all of us. I happy, especially the chiefs of the country, as you are already involved with us. Thank you.
I also want to say thank you for this lovely opportunity to be in the room with such a range of clever people, and to be honored by so many traditional leaders in one place. It's really awesome to get the academics and the practitioners and the leadership and us dirty feet guys together. I've made some new friends who I didn't know lived in the touch. We've got a whole lot of plans without you talking. So it's distilled and consolidated a lot of the messy stuff that we're working on a daily basis. So it's been incredibly useful. I'm really grateful to be part of the process. Thank you.
Good afternoon. First of all, I would like to appreciate to have this time to be part of this workshop. I've learned a lot, some of the things they have already mentioned, but I learned a lot that Wakefield is not only taking all over the place, but you can also use Wakefield as a business opportunity. And also, in order to form things progressively, you have to form a structure and work together as a community, and also with the different and also, I didn't know that things started to change in 1994. Like now, like what they say. They say they did things differently before democracy came, but since they took power from the traditional leaders, so things started to change. Yeah, that's right.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was very grateful to be at this session. I found it very useful. And I think there was a nice mix. There was people that are involved in policy coordination, there were community members, there were NGOs, there were academics. So I think it's a nice mix. Everyone's equally important in this process, and I think a lot of useful information came out of each organization or group that was represented here. I think it was clear and it came out quite strongly that we need to have a sort of bottom-up approach, and I think that's been failing in the past. So I think that's something that needs to be worked on quite strongly. And I think another thing that also came out strongly, and especially in other workshops I've been in, is that we need to learn from traditional leaders and from communities. We can't go there with the arrogance, with a sort of arrogant and sort of teach and tell people, how things must be done when they haven't been living in that area. So I think we need to sort of listen to communities, listen to traditional leaders, take that information, and as well as the sort of academic information that we might know and sort of merge it. And I think that might come up with quite a good solution. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. What I learned in these 2 days is that collaboration with all stakeholders around or involved is the key. It will help us to achieve a lot of things. Thanks.
Good day, everybody. This workshop is very highly valuable for readdressing the bad things of the past. It is clear that such approach will be able to readdress, more especially by establishing microeconomic activities that are much more accessible to every person, regardless of his or her financial status. Maybe sometimes we can challenge this, the politicians, because we were politicians, they got that big terms of PEE, black empowerment, what. But here is a mass economic empowerment where everybody is having an access to speak with the expertise, at the same time speak to the government, at the same time speak to the entire leadership. So I'm sure this program, if the government can adapt it, definitely we will be able to readdress the bad thing that happened in the past. That was much more excluding much of people outside the economic activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity. Good afternoon to everyone. The busiest man ever in the workshop. So I want to concur with the previous speakers that really this workshop has been so useful. Yeah, but what we have learned is that if you want anything that you are doing to prosper, don't ever work alone. Work with other people, involve them in everything that you do. If I can refer to what was mentioned yesterday when we were doing policies, I think with the communities, what was the second one?
Academics.
Governance, yes. That is academics. What we have seen is that if you can decide top there for the people who are down there, you won't do things proper. You have to work with those people to go to them and see what is it that is going to work for them. Don't decide for them. So I've already seen how rich and how potential it's our area. That Matatiele is on its own. It is very rich. There's no place rich like our place. Only if we can learn to look after it very well. With all the resources that we have, I think we can do something better for Matatiele. So I thank God for being part of such a wonderful workshop. Thank you everyone for making me feel comfortable and to work with you, Kamnandi. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. How I wish that the whole South Africa would be here. Because if we were more than this, I think we'd do a great difference. Because as I have seen, the thing lies with the cooperation. If one can think that something can be done this way, and the other copies what is right, and that one and that one will come up with a very different thing in our country. Lastly, I enjoyed very much to be in that mixture of the groups that were here. So really, cooperation is good. Thank you.
Malanga nje.
Yes, Dobi.
Ndithanda ukubonga ithuba ndilifumanayo kuba nam ndifunde kakhulu kule workshop ngoba bendingenalwazi oluphangalele but njengoba ndidibane nani ndiyafumana ulwazi olukhulu ndizakwazi ukuthi ndifike apho ndiya khona ndibachazele uba bendiphi. Ndiyabonga.
Can somebody translate for us, please?
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. I'm also grateful to have been here with you all. I was so happy to get new knowledge of which I'm going to use back home, and I'm going to report back to my community about what all I learned here. Okay, thank you.
I'm repeating what a number of people have said. I really think that it's wonderful to have this diverse group where different people will have different pieces of the puzzle, I think, and we have been able to come up with some really concrete ideas that are informed not just by, say, research or not just by policymakers and not just by the community, but by all of us. And it's rare and quite really valuable. So thank you.
What I'm going to say is probably emphasizing what everybody has said. There's definitely a need to continue with knowledge interaction from the science, policy, and practice perspective to ensure that the success of our interventions from any angle. And there's definitely a need to align policy development with realities on the ground, because we are not just dealing with natural resources, we are also dealing with people. And if we don't consult people, it means at the ground, it means we are messing with people's livelihoods, and that is very important from a food security, rural development perspective. Another thing is there's definitely a high need to restore local traditional authority, emphasizing the word authority, as the traditional authority really need to take authority of their communities.
Okay, thank you. What I've learned, like yesterday when I came here, I didn't have any idea about this rangeland thing. Yes, I'm working for Department of Agriculture, but on the animal section. I didn't have an idea. I just saw people in the rural area cutting those wattle tree and stuff. Yes, I knew about the wattle are selfish trees that doesn't allow anything to grow underneath. But considering what I've learned, I think I have much more knowledge concerning this rangeland thing and stuff. And the other thing with Nikki, I'll be waiting to since you have that term that you use, the co-create. We'll be waiting for you. At least maybe we can do something together.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's been an incredible 2 days for me. Information sharing and the term that says knowledge is power. I've seen it for these 2 days, because it is clear that as a human being, you cannot say you know everything. It's been a great opportunity to have the rural people here, and it means they need to be consulted now and then because they do have the knowledge. To be educated, it doesn't mean you know everything. You do need that indigenous knowledge for them. It was incredible for me to be here, beautiful to meet the people. It was the first time to see other people here, but it seems as if it's been long. We met. How I wish the government departments can have a solid agreement where we will be working together, not to just have workshops like this. I mean, working on the field, because we don't belong to the boardroom. We just get drowsy here. We want to go there outside and work. So how I wish we can get the opportunity that we work very closely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I learned a lot in the 2 days I was here. I've learned that, okay, maybe I have reminded myself that mankind, we are our own worst enemy. Because if you look at the extent of the Wattle invasion, if mankind had taken a stand a long time ago, we wouldn't be where we are today. Also, I've learned that when you want to effect change, it doesn't mean you have to come and impose your own ideas on the people you want to effect change on. You should listen to what they know and build up from there. The silos we are working in, they are not helping us at all. So, as other speakers have said, we do need to collaborate more. Maybe there's some truth in, okay, there's truth in working together, we can do more. And you know, I didn't know that there's been so much work done in the wattle removal process or program. It opened my eyes, the video, the movie. It opened my eyes, really. And I'm going to go out of this room today with so many things that I've learned. Thank you.
Afternoon, everyone. What I've learned during the past 2 days is that we as the community, we should take care of the infrastructure that is being provided by the government. Not to vandalize it and then we go back and ask for it over and over, asking for the same thing over and over again. And also, I've learned that in the project of clearing water, the methods that are being used currently are not completely wrong, but we must also spare a room for improvement. There are also new methods that we can use. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon to everyone. Yesterday, I've heard about a day and a half of this session. Yesterday, when I arrived in the afternoon, I wasn't given a chance to introduce myself. Therefore, please allow me at this last moment.
Sorry.
My name is Siabulela Mtonjeni. I work for the Environmental Affairs Department and I deal with developments a lot of time. I'm under the section of environmental quality management. So waste management, air pollution projects, they are all I deal with those. Quickly now on the session, I arrived when there were breakaway groups. And what was interesting for me was when we came back, I saw kind of a similar understanding. Although we might have been dealing with different issues, but there was a similar kind of understanding. For instance, the community group kind of was, what they presented was linked to what the policy group presented. Therefore, that goes on to say, one person can learn from the other. There's nothing you can do alone. Because as much as we say we share the same ideas, but they are not similar. We used to say, I said I work with development. We used to say you can't have a like for like. If you replace something, you must bring something better than what you had. Therefore, if I'm chatting with Umama Wasili, I learned something, although I know something already, but what she brings, it kind of opens my mind. Therefore, that means I must appreciate the information and ideas of the next person. Yeah, that was yesterday. But today, what I've learned today is that government should not be, I will put this one in inverted commas, should not be big-headed and think that we own the people. Government doesn't own the people. Government should learn to take ideas from the people and do something that is wanted by the people and not impose on the people. In that way, I think projects will be successful if government will take that approach, bottom up rather than the top down. That was the most important one I picked today. Thank you.
Thank you for getting this opportunity. What I learned for those 2 days to starting yesterday, yes, I'm coming late. Also today, I'm coming late. Yeah, because of a lot of commitments I have. Yeah, yes, I don't know even tech. I thought the only tech I have is today. Actually, I don't want to call me Izu. I'm Chief Makoba from Makoba. What I learning many things. And when I will like it if you want to go with those people, the community people, and also learn, yes, as I learn how to trace, to close those tracing land, how can you do, how can you achieve and see, and also to cut that wattle there. Actual us, I just see only just for the trees to cutting for making for fire, especially in winter. I don't know, this wattle is chowing the water, is eating water for our lands, as I don't know, and also is taking the lot of portions for our grazing land. But today I'm learning also those things, but this wattle is not good as such for our lands, must be cut it. And also when I learn to getting the opportunities for the people for getting some jobs from ERS, the people now they are benefiting today to cutting those wattle and getting skills also how to use this wattle. Yes, like you see it with the picture there, to making charcoals. As then the community, as I don't know that this kind of tree is can make it wattle, as I don't know. But now today there are no this kind of tree is making wattle. Thank you.
Afternoon, everyone. What I learned here what I learned here, each and every person, they don't know everything that happened in the world. You don't store the information. You need to share in other people in order to heal and in order to other people to benefit on you, and you gonna benefit from each other. And this I learn a lot, and this information I'm going to share with the community members, most especially the younger people, because back in our communities, the younger people, they don't see themselves in livestock or in the rangeland. They always want money, don't do in such a way that you're going to benefit on the land. Thank you.
So what did I learn? Wow. I think one of the things that I learned most is that I have a lot to learn. Just by listening to all of the different people in this room here and seeing the many different issues that come up when you just say rangeland management in Eastern Cape. There's lots of historical frameworks that need to be understood. There's many different aspects to look at. So I think I'm left after this workshop with more questions and a lot of things that I learned about where to go and ask those questions. So I'm really grateful for that, and I'm grateful for everyone sharing very honestly and openly to help me learn as a visitor. So thank you to everyone.
I also learned a lot from all the discussions. I wasn't always part of the discussions because I walked around. That was my role, to do the filming. But I listened to conversations and discussions and learned a lot from that. What is rangeland, how is it managed, how it can be used, and especially the linkages between people, so between these different stakeholders. That is also key to me, building relationships, building trust, being open to listen to each other. And that's my experience of these 2 days. There was a lot of openness to just listen to what others had to say. And I think that's the best condition you can have for a workshop like this. So I would like to thank all of you for sharing, as you did, for going along with our program, just following us in the steps we wanted to do. So in Kosi, I'm very grateful, and I hope to meet again in the near future.
Sure. Just falls to me to do the final wrap up and thanks. So yeah, just to echo what Stephanie said, a really sincere thank you to everyone for coming. We've had a great cross section of people, some productive meetings and conversations, and thank you for giving up your time for 2 days. I think we found it very productive, and I hope you have as well. You remember that I put these up on the slide on the first day? I thought we'd just quickly revisit where we got to with these. So I think we've had some really good little sessions and productive conversations. So in terms of the stakeholder goals and the groups that we constructed around that, I think we've really pinned that down quite well, particularly with the ranking exercise this morning, so that was really productive, so thank you. The trade-offs are always going to be a bit more esoteric to bring out, but certainly if we refer to these, I think implicit in these maps and diagrams that people have created in these lists, we can certainly bring those out. And finally, with what we did this afternoon and this morning, I think that was absolutely brilliant. So the scenarios and the development around those, that can certainly inform the next steps, and that's what this was designed to do. So the next steps will be the modelling exercise, which will be a combination of people here plus back in the UK. And things like the wattle reduction would be an obvious thing in that. The intensification we talked about can also be modelled. We'll be back for the final workshop, so it will be here, and many people will be back for that as well from this group. We'll try and invite other people as well, some other stakeholders, to try and maybe make it a little bit bigger. But great, and then we'll be back ongoing, connected through people like Heidi and Nikki for the work in the communities as well. So there's the experimental work we referred to, building on the intensification of grazing, corralling. Anything else? Oh, housekeeping stuff.
Before we do that, James, can I add something?
Yeah.
I don't know whether you still want to do that. I just want to say from both of us, everybody involved, a big thank you to Nikki and ERS for organizing, co-organizing, bringing people here. Also CSA for all the work, for helping us, because without you we can't do anything. We can't do any workshop. So we rely on these relationships and on your relationships that you have with the local, with the rural communities, with the policy people, with the other NGO people. So thank you very much for that. And a big thank you to Rest Haven also for accommodating us here, for making us feel so welcome. I mean, they care about us constantly and see that we are well fed and that we have enough to drink, water and tea and everything. So, and I think the environment here was lovely. It was really nice environment to work. So that's just what I wanted to say.
Super.
Okay, thanks.
So, minibus. There's been a change of plan due to driver fatigue, you could say. So I don't really feel up to driving out there and coming all the way back again after 2.5 hours. So hopefully, is Linda here? Has that been confirmed?
Yes.
Yes, good. There'll be a minibus to collect you in about half an hour.
Or the chief. That's a big problem.
And everyone agrees with that? That happens, does it?
Yeah.
Okay. So in that sense, the user group is flexible, but not by design.
Yes, not by design.
It's just the way, de facto, it happens, the way life is. But in principle, the user group should just be for you. Is that what you're saying? Or the resources should just be, yes? Okay, so I'll put because of circumstances. So, does everyone think that that's a bad thing, or does anyone think that the flexibility is good? Because the sense that I'm getting is people saying, well, it's changed, and that's not a good thing.
It is not a good thing because we normally used to. We have bylaws. We normally have bylaws in our area that makes us to be safe and then to control the abusing, to use these things, the resources.
It's good to talk about this.
How can I say?
Now, if I own
So it's, those things are no longer functional.
They're no longer there.
Okay.
if I own those,
In other words, the bylaws are no more respected.
We'll come on to that with the rules and the but that's really important, so I'm glad you're saying this. So this idea of the boundaries being flexible because of circumstances, is it the same for all the resources? So you mentioned sand is an obvious one, so it applies to sand.
go somewhere else.
So it's the same for rangeland as well. The rangeland isn't just by the community, one community, other communities come and use you for grazing.
Yes, we are taking all rangeland.
Can you go
timber,
where it says different
forest.
in the type of.
So there are laws, like you were saying about, on Mondays if there's a funeral, you come and take the wood. But that's within the community, and that's the way it always has been. But now people do different things from outside the community. Yeah. So it applies to sand, grazing, timber, all uses of the rangeland then. So there's nothing, if you think about it, there's nothing where there's just the community that uses it, and it's only the community that will ever use it. Everything is potentially open to use by other people. Water, grazing, timber, sand. Yeah.
I think things that are still used by the communities only are the crop fields.
Crop fields, yeah.
Yeah, and also
who's using it?
Do people
the springs.
spring.
Although there are those few guys who come and fetch water and are now. Yeah.
So do people think the crop plant is still there? No one else comes and crop the field?
Yeah, that is true.
Yes. But are people still able to crop? Because I know in many there's no fences and people say that the stock will eat.
No, we took what we
We do crop. Okay. So that's good. So
we have Marcolini and Marcolini.
Because when the season of cropping has arrived, we changed the grazing.
yeah. So that's what I was talking about before with the rights. So you change from it's a private field to yeah.
Because that's what we heard, that's what you said. Right, so Marcolini is different. You don't have natural grass doing that. In Marcolini, you have natural grass.
So let's use that Family Grazing Association.